Hello, everyone. Welcome to the very first episode of the Acoustic Podcast. And today we have architect Jatin Asher with us, who is the director of Square 3 Designs. So, Jatin, can you tell us something about yourself and Square 3 Designs?
Hi, Arshil. Hi, everyone. So, Square 3 Design is a multidisciplinary architectural firm. We are based at Powai in Mumbai. And we are doing multiple projects, but we specialize in education design projects. And we've been working pan-India and few projects in Gulf and Africa as well. Apart from education, we also do commercial projects, residential projects, and a bit of hospitality as well. But our specialization and our more creative front is in education design per se. And we've done 40 plus projects in last 12 years or so.
So, Jatin, what do you feel about the education segment overall in India? Like, how is it developing?
Well, Harshal, today, parents are getting more, kind of educated in terms of what their kids are going to do in future. So there are multiple curriculum options today there in India. May it be international board, may it be state board, may it be the national board and all that. So there is a wide amount of exposure with parents, as and then there are traveling parents, there are parents who are there in a different part of the country, and based on that, they need more options. So there are a lot of schools and education setups, institutions which are coming up. There is a lot of opportunity for career-oriented courses as well. And the overall scenario for the education system is very, very good in India. Even today, it's considered a central hub for education for many students from Africa and Asia. And I'm sure it's going to be one of the top three education service provider all over the world very soon.
Okay, great. Anything on the new education policy?
Yes. So because of the new education policy, which is already implemented, and I think by next year it should roll on further, a lot of the institutions or existing schools and institutions are undergoing a lot of changes in terms of infrastructure, in terms of new planning, because a gist of it is more of project based learning. So there are a lot of infrastructure changes which is happening. And that's the reason the education industry is booming a lot.
Okay. So, Jatin, what do you feel? Is there a need for having good acoustics in the education institutions in our country?
Definitely. Definitely there is a need of good acoustics in our country. I'll give you a small example. What we've been used to is going to state board schools or any other schools where there are 60 kids in the class, and you can see all reflective surfaces all around, and there's been a lot of noise within the classroom itself. Forget about the noises from outside.
Absolutely.
So it's definitely it's a bit of chaotic situation within the classroom with the noise coming from outside. So there is a definite need of good classroom acoustics to create a good environment.
Absolutely.
For sure.
So when we talk about the need for good acoustics, Jatinji, people think only auditoriums and music rooms, are the ones to be treated acoustically. But what do you feel on that?
Of course, auditoriums and music rooms does need very good acoustics, because it's a primary source of noise. However, whatever we say, classroom acoustics are equally important. You can say the reason is that there is noise which is from the kids. There is noise from the adjoining classrooms or corridors, and because of the project-based learning, there are kids who want to be gathering together, working together. They will of course make some noise and all that, because maybe of the shape of the room, the length of the room, the backbenchers would not be able to hear what the teacher is saying.
Exactly.
And then because of the resonance, they might not even hear of what the clarity of the sound which teacher is saying. It may not be that clear. And that is the more reason why classroom acoustics should be treated equally well, very much like an auditorium or a music room.
Perfect. So, Jatinji, you mentioned that there is a need for good acoustics in the education institutions. So, what are the benefits of good acoustics? And if I have good acoustics in my classroom, how will it sort of benefit?
Definitely, it's beneficial. It creates a stress-free environment in the classroom itself. B is that teachers will not have to kind of shout.
Absolutely.
Because they will be damaging their vocal cords while shouting, and the last benchers will be able to hear clearly what he or she is talking.
Yes.
That will also create a good amount of energy, because you can see, because there is no reflection which is happening. Reflection of sound is kind of minimum, because we are going to put some absorptive surfaces all around.
Mm-hmm.
Then definitely this is also going to create, because of the harmony created in the classroom, I'm sure it's going to impact the grades of the students as well. There will be definite improvements in grades as well.
Absolutely. So you mentioned, Jatinji, there are so many benefits of good acoustics, right? Then why is the adoption of good acoustics so less in this country?
As a country, we've been just kind of following what has been done over the years. And I'm sure you and me have been through the school wherein there was just a teacher talking in a blank classroom with all these reflective surfaces, 60 kids all around. So everybody's kind of just following whatever is being done, because professors are coming out from there only. So they could possibly, that they are not aware of whether that kind of solution is available.
Exactly.
Second could be is the budget, the kind of allocation one does behind the infrastructure, that the acoustical treatment in the classrooms will come probably secondary or tertiary even. So that could be the thing. Third, they might not be aware of the benefits of it. So somebody really needs to know, people like us. Of course, I do take responsibility, and I tell my clients that acoustics are required, and we do it in all of our school, that this is predominantly what is today's essence, and then it helps a lot. So 3-4 reasons are people like us and you come into play, wherein we need to tell the end user that these are the benefits and how this repays you really well.
So I would want to know about Square 3 designs. What are we actually doing to acoustically empower spaces?
Since we've been practicing more of education designs, as a consultant, our motto is to tell the clients what are the things which are available today. That is our first and foremost priority. Treating the end users as children. They will have special needs because of their height variation, because right from kindergarten to grade 12, kids will be using the campus, which is similar. So we have to take care of all the requirements, and acoustics is one of the major component of it. That is our prime motto, that every aspects of design are kind of catered to, are being verified, being shown to the client, and implementation of this inspected or told to the client at every stage. If we are doing this is going to be the impact, or if you are removing the acoustic, this could be the impact. May it be air conditioning, may it be any other things, electrical, lot of things, but acoustics have been the prime focus in our designs. The way we are designing the classroom, way we are designing the other spaces, even the activity spaces, spaces like library, where also, because library are no more quiet libraries. I'm sure you are aware of this now, that people are using library as project-based learning spaces, collaborative spaces. So even those spaces nowadays are being treated for acoustics, and that is what end of the day you will be benefited for.
So you mean to say that acoustics is like an important inclusion in your design?
100%.
Can you tell us about your association with Ecophone so far? How has it been in terms of providing some assistance on acoustics?
Right. Association with Ecophone has been really great. They've been deploying very good technical personnel who are able to answer our questions, and their acoustical assessment software is kind of really helps us to kind of determine what is the balance which is required in terms of how much dBs we need to cut or what has been required. Not only that, the kind of product Ecophone has, it not only gives us acoustical treatment, but the kind of look an architect would desire. It kind of matches the technicalities and the aesthetic both portion of it. And there have been live examples wherein Ecophone has done tests. They have conducted tests in my existing school setups, And after the treatment, what kind of acoustic rating we have achieved, that has been really good and really fruitful to my clients. Really, I mean, most of my projects, there is definite association of ecophone, even a small or a big way. So definitely, I'm looking forward for more products, and this association will definitely continue further for multiple projects.
Anything, Jatinji, on the corridors, right? I have often myself seen sometimes when I've walked into the corridors, they're so noisy. Any reason why? What do you feel about it?
Yeah, so corridor spaces, so it's predominantly in India. I mean, of course, the scenario is a little different because the FSI is so expensive. There are doubly loaded corridors in the classroom all the side. Your classroom breaks, all of them are at the same time. So you will see the kids are being very patient, very quiet in the classroom, and then they are left open, and suddenly they're going to start chit chatting. They're going to start talking to their friends. That they're going to be all over the place, and the amount of people which are coming in the corridor in that particular time is going to be more, and that is the reason it's going to be a very noisy place. Pretty similar to a cafeteria or
Absolutely.
So it's going to be that kind of scenario, and that's the reason corridor. Probably the kind of treatment you might be doing in the classroom, you might need really more to do in the corridor. To kind of cater to this noise. At times it becomes very difficult. And imagine if there is still some exams happening. Few classrooms are conducting the exams, and few classrooms are being dispersed. It's going to be a really difficult situation in that scenario.
So how do you see cafeteria spaces when it comes to acoustics?
Yeah, so cafeteria spaces are also needs to be treated acoustically, because otherwise it is really like a big chaos. At times, with my experience, even the dB levels can go as high as 70-75 dBs, which is a very, very high volume. It is like we are standing right in center of a traffic signal, and the cars honking and all that. So it's deafening.
Yeah.
And it's not going to do, if somebody really come down to have a meal, have some peace of mind, change of atmosphere is not going to happen. So treatment of a cafeteria or any such public spaces is very, very important to control to an extent. I'm not saying that you make it like a green room or a navy room. There is pin drop silence there. Practically not possible because kids are there. They are there on a break. They are going to make noise. We cannot stop that, and it is their time to enjoy and remember. Treatment to an extent will definitely bring this effect down, and much more pleasant atmosphere will be there for anybody, such as a teacher or anybody, even for students to kind of sit there and enjoy their meal and have the peace of mind.
Yeah. We come to the end of our acoustic podcast. So the last question, Jatinji, I would like to ask you is, what message would you want to give to architects, consultants, and the education stakeholders when it comes to acoustics, especially in our country where the concept of acoustics is developing?
Of course, it is developing, and yes, it's been there since some time. I would say it's not like really nascent. But as I told you earlier, that this is the responsibility of my fellow architects, Ecophone, of course, and there'll be other people also to buy. Of course, this is a podcast is one of the means by which we will be doing this, spreading awareness of why it is needed and for what it is to be done. It has to be spreaded across, make the client or the end user realize that this is really important, and we can do this in bits and pieces. We can do live examples and show them the difference and all. And it is really, really, really important for us to kind of deliver this at the end of the day. We've gone through all the benefits which are there, and I'm sure that this will do good eventually because students spend a lot of time. If you see the lifespan, initial 15 years are there in the school.
True, agreed.
So let's give them a better environment overall, because this is where they will be starting their life journey from.
And it's also called as a second home, right? When we talk about
it's a first home, rather. I would say that way. Students almost spend 6.5 to 8 hours in the school.
Yeah,
true. So it's a very big amount of time, and for 15 years they will have to do that. Yeah. So I would say it's a first house though. But yes, I mean, at the end of the day, professionals like us are doing their bit, and architecture fraternity, interior fraternity are involved in this, and they are doing their bit. I'm sure this will reap good amount of benefits in the coming years.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, so here we are at the end of our first episode of Acoustic Podcast. I would like to sincerely thank Jatinji for giving us your valuable time and the knowledge that you shared with us. Of course, I am sure that many of us would be inspired and take up acoustics, seriously when it comes to build spaces. So once again, thank you so much. Thank you everyone for watching this video, and we'll be back with another episode soon. So thank you so much.
Thank you.